This exercise, we're going to set up what is called 5 number summary, and based on the 5 number summary, we'll prepare what is called a box plot. Now, 5 number summary is about 5 values in the data set. Okay, the maximum is the largest value, the minimum is the smallest value. And in between, we get 3 other values, and these 3 are called quartiles. Quartiles are determined by dividing the data into 4 parts, 4 quarters. Okay. Starting from the largest to the smallest, arranged in descending order. And if you break the data up into 4 parts, okay, now from the bottom, if you go 25% of the way or 1/4 of the way, the value you will see is the first quartile, that's Q sub 1. From the top, if you go down 25% of the way or quarter of the way, so that will be from the bottom, it will be like 3/4 of the way. And therefore that is called third quartile. And if you go 50% of the way, so that is 2/4 down, either from the top or from the bottom, and you get the midpoint, and that is your median. Okay, so these are the 5 values in the data set. So we already have the maximum, median, and minimum from the top. So we already computed that. So that is your maximum. Okay, here is your minimum. And the median is also from here. Now, for quartiles, Excel has a function, and that is quartile.exc. That is the function we need to use. And MPG is the data, comma, for third quartile, we just simply enter the number 3. And for first quartile, again select quartile.exc, MPG, and for first quartile it is the number 1. Now once we have these 5 numbers, then we can set up the box plot. And preparing box plot in Excel is kind of cumbersome, so I have set up a macro for that. This is the reason why when you open this file, you have to make sure that the content is enabled. So now we'll go and highlight the data for which we want the box plot. So that is MPG, starting from N20 all the way up to the last point. And then you do Control P. Press Control P, and that sets up a box plot, a bare minimum, bare bone box plot. Now we have to format this. So first let's give a title. So box plot of MPG. How about that? Okay, well, so let's decrease the font size here. Okay. Now we can control the y-axis. We really don't need the y-axis to start from 0, so we can start from 15 and go up to 40. So to do that, select the y-axis, right click, and click Format Axis. And here you want the minimum to be fixed and not auto. Change that to 15, and we'll leave the maximum as is. So that increases the size or zooms in to the box. That's our box plot, and you have the smallest value here and the largest value there, maximum value. So this is the first quartile, that is the third quartile, and this is the midpoint. By examining the box plot, we can tell whether there is a skew on either direction, or how closely packed, the values are in the mid 50%. So that's your mid 50%. Here it looks like it's pretty evenly spread out with a very slight skew on the higher side of the values. So as for interpretation, we can say the values of MPG are evenly distributed with a slight skew to the right, that is larger values of